Some interesting developments have taken place since the last time I posted, and now somehow I'm involved in this whole scammer payback drama. I guess that's what I get for having common sense. But don't go anywhere, I got you covered. We're going to talk about it right now. Most of the things I cover on this channel are usually internet culture related, and that could be anything from meme coins and cryptocurrency to internet drama to politics to exposing people who are doing terrible things, aka Derek Roz. All of these things are internet centric, but the one thing I always do is search for the truth and approach things from a very even-keeled perspective. I never come into these videos with any type of narrative that I'm trying to push. I simply find interesting stories and I tell you guys about them. And if we have a few laughs along the way, then even better. Unfortunately, lately, though, we've been in a culture where canceling people is like the trend. And a lot of times, people set their crosshairs on people who are innocent just because they had a bad experience with those people. And that's what my last video was about. Collins, or aka Orange Hoodie Guy, was someone who was like very ingrained in the scammer payback community. Posted a video basically trashing Pierogi while also trashing himself somehow. And I made a video responding, basically just asking him for evidence of things that he's accusing Pierogi of doing. Because I gotta be honest, if we lived in a world where everybody just took your word for it, then there would be chaos everywhere. Have you ever met a dishonest person in your life? I know everybody in here can say at least once in their lifetime they met someone who was dishonest. Or maybe a better analogy for this situation would be, have you ever had someone in your life who you were close with at one point who you are no longer close with? For one reason or another, you had a falling out, a disagreement, whatever it may be, that ended up causing you to part ways. And you left on bad terms. Now imagine that that person has the ability to paint who you are to the rest of the world. I guarantee you it probably wouldn't be a good look for you. I've been a victim of it myself. Now, I'm not going to go into my personal life, but let's just say someone painted a narrative of me that wasn't true, and many people just blindly believed it and went along with it. This ended up costing me friends, it costed me relationships I've built over time, it costed me band spots, all because one person was able to convince others without any evidence that I was not a good person. Fast forward to where we are right now. I find myself invested in this because I relate to the situation that Pierogi's going through right now. So people could say all they want that I'm trying to get Pierogi to scratch my back or stupid shit like that. But the fact of the matter is, I'm only invested in this situation because I've been through it myself. I get the damage that it can do. And if you've ever been someone out there who has had a falling out with someone and you know they're out there just running their mouth about you and you feel like you were the innocent party in all this, then you can relate to this too. Now let's get back to the topic at hand, Collins, right? Collins is supposed to be like this guy who is like, oh, you know, I was put through the ringer. I've been put through all this stuff because of Pierogi. And he's supposed to be the guy that's on the right side, right? So let's see how the right side responded to criticism of their arguments. Let's start with the man himself, Mr. Orange Hoodie, who goes by Spurs Champ 2007 on his YouTube channel. Man, a video that was unlisted, meant for about 20 people, that someone then shared on Reddit has more views than 11 of your last 15 videos. I can understand why you need to make an hour-long video attacking someone you don't know, and you weren't a part of the community during that time period just to say he sucks. Bottom line, believe it or not, Pierogi preys on females, he preys on his members, he scams his community. Just ask the Diamond and Platinum members how many times their monthly perks have been experienced. You can think he is a saint all you want. This video wasn't meant for you. Hell, it wasn't even meant for the public. It was meant for a small group of people that had questions and experiences. Not on me, more people watched it than most of your recent content. Now, this would have been an opportune time to be like, listen, EG, I got a book full of evidence. I can't wait to show you. You got it all wrong, brother. I'm going to bring it to you, and we're going to have a nice conversation. I'm going to explain to you my plight. But did he do that? No. He decided he's going to go after my views. Why? Because he doesn't have any evidence to give me. The only thing he got is to pick on the fact that I've had a couple videos that are duds, which is fine. I have 2,400 subscribers. I'm not Oompaville. Right? I don't have a massive audience. I'm still growing as a content creator. So going after someone's view count has got to be the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Every single YouTuber who has ever existed has had videos that fail. It's just how it goes. But rubbing that in people's faces has got to just show you exactly the type of person we're dealing with here, right? He doesn't deal in realism. He deals in emotion. He feels hurt, so he wants to hurt me back. What's the best way to do that? Oh, this guy's trying to make videos. Let's go after his view count. A lot of other people did this too in the comments. Went after my editing, went after the way that I presented my videos. Listen, it's my freaking channel. If you don't like it, don't watch. It's simple as that. You can click off at any time. But for those of you who choose to stay and listen to me and hear me out, I appreciate you. You are the ones who I care about. Because after all, you are the reasonable ones. You are the ones who are allowing me to plead my case to you. Now, at the end of the day, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But for those of you who can see the entire context of the situation that Pierogi was in during this time, you are the ones that will understand where I'm coming from. At the time all this crap that Colin says was going down, Pierogi was suffering from alcoholism. Do you think he really gave a crap about the perks of his channel? No, he probably cared about where he's going to get his next drink. That's just how addiction is. This is what these people don't understand. They're taking what Pierogi did as malicious. It wasn't. The guy was struggling with a substance abuse at the time. And if you've never been through it yourself, Collins, you might want to look at your mirror, because I think you might have an issue with alcohol. Then you know that you can't balance everything evenly. Some things are sacrificed to your drinking, and that's simply all I'm saying here. These people are taking this as malicious and intent, when in reality, Pierogi was lost mentally and probably physically at the same time. Struggling with alcohol abuse is a real problem. It happens to a lot of people. I struggled with addiction for 15 fucking years. I know I lost everything during that time because I didn't care. I didn't do it because I was trying to be evil. I did it because I lost myself. That's why I take this personally, that Collins is trying to ruin the man who literally just got himself back together, or at least is trying. I don't know personally. He could, for all we know, still be drinking, but at least he's trying. He took a step away to try to reset and figure out what the fuck's going on. And now you guys are all trying to bring him down again. Why? Because he's trying to straighten himself out? So here's another one. She says, you say that you want evidence. Everyone that knows or knew Pierogi has evidence. But I don't think you actually want anything that proves Pierogi and Brandon are predators, narcissists, and abusers. You only want to make content, and you don't care what side you're on as long as you get views. So again, another comment that is mainly focused around views. It's like these people think that nobody can have moral ethics anymore. It all has to do with me trying to get something out of this situation. I am personally attached to this because I can relate to what is happening to Pierogi. Again, I have just as many people in my ear in support of Pierogi saying that none of this stuff was as bad as these people are making it out. For one reason or another, they left the Discord and now they're jaded because they donated all this money to him while they were there, and now they hate him for it. But listen, Charlie C. Jones, I told you once in the last video, and I will tell you again, there is an open invite to anybody who has the evidence to convict Pierogi of what you guys are saying he's doing, and I'll be happy to read it. And if I'm wrong, I will apologize, and I will even make a video saying, hey, I was wrong. However, nobody's producing a single thing. You guys have not produced one single thing. What am I supposed to think, right? Just take your word for it? Trust me, bro. That is not a defense. Also, please, for the love of God, if you're gonna give me evidence like Hina had, where you're gonna portray something as a narrative that it's not, then just save it, all right? I don't even want to see that crap. You need concrete evidence that fits with your narrative, showing that he is basically scamming his audience, manipulating the people in his Discord, and preying on women. If you don't have those things, shut the hell up. You can see how quickly these people assume they know somebody because I posted a video going against their narrative. That must mean I'm only in it for the money. Don't get me wrong, views are nice. Everybody likes when you get a lot of views on your videos, but that's not the reason I'm doing this. I do this because I believe in what I'm saying. If I didn't, I would just do another video about Jack Doherty. Those always get views. But no, I'm here in the trenches taking on your attempt to destroy a man's life because you had a bad experience with him, when there's several other people who said, I had a great experience with Pierogi. He's been nothing but a stand-up person. Now, if I'm wrong again and you present me some golden slab with all the evidence laid out right there for me, then again, I admit I will be the bigger man and I will apologize. But until that, all you have is hearsay. And that is not enough to convict someone. Not in the court of public opinion, even though you think it can. Not to mention that your main focus is that Hina's story was true, when we clearly see all the evidence out there that it was nothing more than an extramarital affair that took place online. It didn't even take place in person. Was Pierogi out there slinging dick? Probably. Does that make him a predator? No, it makes him like a womanizer, which is something completely different than a predator. Like, look at the Tindler swindler. He was a predator. Kevin Spacey, predator. Harvey Weinstein, predator. Jeffrey Epstein, predator. Also, Jeffrey Epstein didn't unalive himself, just saying. So if you're trying to convince us that he's as bad as those people were, you gotta come with more than just, hey, trust me, bro. Those are major accusations you're making against someone that could have permanent effects on the rest of his life. And that's some serious shit. If you don't get that, then shame on you. You don't realize what you're doing. You're going after a man's livelihood, a man who has kids, who has a wife, has a family that loves him. Are you prepared for that? Which also brings me to like my next point. Like, what is the end game here you want? Do you want Scammer Payback taken down? Is that like your end goal? To end that? Because guess what? They still save people lots and lots of money. There was this one person in the comments section who was with Pierogi when he saved this lady $150,000. She was about to send it to scammers and Pierogi had it stopped and helped get this lady to not send that money. That could have crippled that lady for life. So if you're telling me you want Scammer Payback gone, I have to say, F you. Regardless of what he does extracurricular, his impact in the world is a positive one. So if you're gonna go after someone who presents something positive to people, you gotta come with more than trust me, bro. I guarantee everybody who's ever been saved by Pierogi wants him to continue his work, regardless if he fulfills his perks. Oh, he didn't fulfill my perks on Discord. He's scamming us. Like, for real? Meanwhile, he's saving people from giving their life savings to scumbags. But we don't talk about that, right? You don't bring that up when you're going after him. No, you only bring up that he's really good at getting girls in Discord to send him nudes or do sexting with them. He's not even with these girls when he's doing it. It's on Discord. You telling me that you can't say no on Discord? That's your fault. If you go along with it, that's why everybody gave Hina such a hard time. She was like, Pierogi's a predator. Well, let's look at your text messages. Oh, Hina, what's this part where you're saying, can't wait to have you spank me, daddy? Was that where he was being predatory? Before or after you told him that Pink Buddy's home and waiting for her? Like, give me a break. Whew. All right, breathe, EG. Breathe, EG. Whew. I know, this is intense stuff, guys. Like, what the hell? Why can't they just be like, okay, I had a bad experience in Scammer Payback, and then, like, leave it be? Why do they gotta be like, we must take him down. His empire must crumble. That's the only way I'll feel better about all the money I gave him, and I feel like I got scammed by him. I guarantee that money went to help people get their money back or prevent them from being scammed by people, so your money didn't go nowhere. Regardless of what he did with it, you still gave him the means to be able to continue to do what he did. You know how many people Kip Boga helps? Who are you guys going after him next? You better not go after Kip Boga, I swear to God. This is not the end, however. This is where the fun part starts, you see, because Orange Hoodie Guy decided to make another video where he pretty much calls out me and he calls out Chud Logic. Now, Chud wasn't nearly as nice in his criticisms of Orange Hoodie Guy's video, whereas I feel like I was much more laid back and I was pulling my punches. Chud just gets in there and just rips people's heart out. I can't even use the words that he called this guy because, I mean, that's just how Chud rolls, though.
He was completely using him.
Dude, dude, I know this archetype so well, okay? You know, he's so invested in this. Normally it's women, to be honest, okay? But he's like so invested in this, and it's like you can tell he spent all his fucking time in this Discord server. He probably knows all the ins and outs of what's going on, and put himself in his own head in this place of importance in the Discord's Pierogi server ecosystem for no good reason, and now like he's got nothing to show for it. He basically wasted time, and now he's gutted, and he's come out with some bullshit story to try and justify what happened. Dude, it's so pathetic, man. Go and do something with your fucking life, dude.
See, I could have been way crueler, but I didn't, because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm just kind of nice. Not to take anything away from Chud. Chud's just brutally honest, but, you know, I'm not the only person who can see this for what it is basically where I'm getting at. But you didn't see them all jump down Chud's throat. Why? Because Chud's got way more subscribers than me. No, you got to go after the guy with the 2,400 subscribers. You can't go after the guy with 30,000. But yes, anyway, let's get back to it. The video that Orange Dude released, let's just call him Orange. Can we all agree just call him Orange so I don't have to keep calling him Orange Buddy by accident when I keep getting him confused with Pink Buddy? Yeah, so Orange, you glad I didn't say Pink Buddy? I'm sorry. That one's lame. But anyway, he released a video, and, well, you know, it's basically his way of watering down all the things he did. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to show some highlights. Because God forbid I stop in the middle of his video and piss off anybody else.
Have you ever had those moments that you wake up and you just say, what in the hell is going on? I put out an unlisted video for the sole intent to share my story and my experience with a group of people that were suddenly questioning the ethics and integrity of one Christian, aka Pierogi, aka Scammer Payback. The truth is, during that time, I did things I was both proud of, both not proud of, behaved in a way that was morally gray at the minimum.
So you're essentially saying that you were doing things at the time that some could consider morally gray at the minimum. But for some reason, you're going to get a pass for it and Pierogi doesn't. All right, gotcha. Just making sure.
For all the people that now suddenly want to turn around and comment like this over here, yeah, I don't care. Look, I'm going to let you guys know something. I was involved in Arizona politics for a while. All right. Anything said on the internet by a bunch of keyboard warriors that are trying to become the next big YouTuber because they can't keep an actual job and they don't know how to make money. So they think, hey, I'm going to be able to feed myself based on YouTube and just sitting in my parents' home all day. Sorry. Not what I'm trying to do.
The irony of this was that when I saw this video, I was at work. YouTube is not my full-time job. You do not make enough money on YouTube to make it your full-time job with 2,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. Secondly, I don't think that everybody's trying to get famous off of the guy in the orange hoodie from Pierogi's Discord. I feel like most creators would probably aim their targets a little higher, if you get what I'm saying. And I don't know much about Arizona politics, but if it's anything like this guy says, then it's like being in a gang in LA, apparently. I also love that he feels like he's flexing on people by being like, you live in your parents' basement. Like that's the most cliche thing you could say about anybody who uses YouTube. Instead of giving any type of evidence like he should be doing in this video, being like, I got tons of evidence, everybody's gonna want evidence, we got that evidence, he just starts attacking people and trying to make them feel bad about themselves. Way to go. Well done, sir. You did it. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that anybody who's trying to become a YouTuber is unemployed and lives with their parents. It's actually a prerequisite. Like, they don't tell you that when you sign up for the YouTube Partner Program. They go, check your box if you still live with your parents, and if you don't check that box, then you don't get to become a YouTuber. It's just kind of written in the law.
In fact, I will share this part right here, that the entire point of this video was honestly just to be a, hey, here's some information. I think you might want to know it. This stuff that you're suddenly hearing about, that you're learning about, which wasn't coming from me, I want to kind of tell you my history and my story.
Yes, and I'm sure this has absolutely nothing to do with you getting kicked out of the Discord, trying to get back in, not being as welcomed as you thought you were, thus realizing you weren't as important in that Discord as you thought you were. Now you have a bone to pick with Pierogi. I'm sure those emotions play nothing into what you're doing right now.
And a video where you say, this is unlisted because I just want people to know, is not a hit piece.
Yeah, just like Savannah's video wasn't a hit piece, right?
Video is not some kind of hit piece against Scammer Payback.
Yet your whole motive for making that video was to be like, yes, I agree with all of you. Pierogi is a piece of crap. And I don't buy this whole story that he didn't want anybody to see it. I think he kept it unlisted because he was afraid of the blowback he might get if people found out. And somebody posted it to Reddit, which he wasn't expecting. Posted it a second time on a different account. That one was listed. So, bullshit?
Bait. And I get your followers, they want to turn around and believe that you're their best friend and you're going to lead them the right way. Look, you guys can think whatever you want. The internet can think whatever they want. It's the internet.
Spin now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
It's allowed. It can happen. I'm not going to change that decision. If you want to believe that Mr. Christian is the best person in the world and that he isn't exploiting members of his staff, that he hasn't exploited members of his community, that he scams his own members, and if you want proof for that, I would just go ask anyone that's been a platinum or diamond member how many times they've actually received the perks that they say they're promised.
You don't say. Pierogi's trying to make money on YouTube? Scandal of the decade, I tell you. Scandal of the decade.
Fucking money. Let's go.
But for real, nobody's here saying that Pierogi's perfect. What we are saying is that you need to provide evidence if you are going to accuse this man and try to ruin his reputation. This isn't a hard concept, man. Come on, Collins. Work with me here, guy. All we are asking for is evidence to support your claims. You can't just say, if you want evidence, go ask someone, because I'll have 3 other people tell me that those people are full of shit. That's why you can't use hearsay as evidence. Get with it.
If you want to think he's the best thing in the world, you can think he's the best thing in the world. That video wasn't meant as a hit piece. That video wasn't meant to get some sort of clout. The video wasn't meant to turn around and suddenly have the internet raising pitchforks and going after the Scammer Payback community. That's not what the intent was. It was for a group of people that were finding out a truth that I happened to know years ago. And we're finally ready to hear the truth.
All right, now let's say for a second that there's like a group of members that are suffering with pierogi PTSD, which I know sounds ridiculous just saying it out loud, but apparently this is like what they're talking about. Why wouldn't they just create a small group among each other being like, hey, if you had a bad time in Scammer Payback, come join our Discord. You know, we'll be here to support you. And then everybody could share their stuff. But you posted it on YouTube. You posted on YouTube and then reposted it a second time, Collins, because you saw that it was getting traction on Reddit. So you reposted it under a new account.
So I'm pushing this video public. It's not edited. It was meant for a small group of people, but it got shared and it got some traction on Reddit. So this is why you should stop supporting Scammer Payback and run away with it. Because if it's out on Reddit already, even if it's unlisted, it doesn't matter. So listen, run away, don't support Pierogi. He's not good for you and he's not good for the scammer community. Enjoy. Hello everyone. It has been a while since some of you have probably seen me or heard my voice, and some of you are meeting me for the very first time.
Yep, definitely doesn't seem like a hit piece to me when you tell everybody to stop supporting Scammer Payback and run away from Pierogi as fast as you possibly can. No hit piece to be seen here.
Video is not some kind of hit piece against Scammer Payback.
How do you explain that one, Collins, Mr. Orange Hoodie Guy? Could it be that you saw that some people were watching it and then you thought, hey, maybe I have a shot at YouTube? But do you live in your parents' house, Collins? I gotta ask you because it's a prerequisite to trying to become a YouTuber, man. I don't write the rules. It's just the way it is.
These are just some keyboard warriors that don't have anything better to do, that want to try to hitch their post to someone that can maybe bring them success, that maybe Pierogi will turn around and scratch their back as he's scratching his. I will say this though, psychologically speaking, for you to be this irate about it, for you to just be this nasty, to have to be this over the top, I have a feeling that that unlisted video is actually maybe making some traction and making people question a few things. And look, not to these people, because they're never going to have a serious conversation.
What? Collins, you break my heart. You don't think I'm capable of having a serious conversation with you? Like, you come out of the woodwork, repost the video a second time, claim that you unlisted it on purpose, yet you always seem to forget that you reposted it, then tell everybody you won't talk to the guy that's asking for evidence because he won't take it serious. What's more serious than asking for evidence? What did I do that makes you think that I'm incapable of being able to have my mind changed? I even commented on his video. In the comment, I say, dude, why do you think I'm unreasonable? I've said I'd be happy to talk to you. Believe it or not, I'm pretty open-minded. As I've said from the beginning, if you could provide evidence, I'd be the first person to apologize. Unfortunately, nobody has anything other than words. So Colin said, so firsthand experience is evidence. And when you have enough of the inner circle who left on their own terms, so not let's get him back and get revenge scenario, maybe you should listen. Just saying. Evidence can be first-hand testimony, just FYI. Now, I've already laid out earlier in the video why you can't just accept first-hand testimony, and here's a good example of why you can't accept first-hand testimony. Take a look at this comment. This is a reply to C. Jones, which is the person who had the donation war with Collins. This person wrote, everyone knows or knew that Pierogi has evidence. So why are you publishing this to the world? It doesn't help anyone or anything for you to say that anyone who knows them has evidence. You're just coming off as a liar, or maybe even worse, the things you're accusing Pierogi of being. And I thought this comment was interesting because like this is a prime example of why you can't just trust someone's firsthand opinion, because somebody who knows Pierogi, who might have a fond view of Pierogi, is going to negate your negative view of Pierogi. And a lot of times this comes down to just perspective, all about experiences. Everyone's experience is different. Some people say things that are offensive to some people, but not offensive to other people. And while some people will be incredibly offended by some of the things that this person may say, other people may think it's the funniest thing they've ever heard. It all comes down to perspective. This is why eyewitness testimony is not always 100% accepted during trials. Now, I just want to remind everybody, we're not going to go and dogpile on Collins, all right? Even though Collins thinks that I'm some unreasonable lunatic for asking for evidence, which I think is pretty basic in my opinion, and I hope that you do too, I don't think that I'm asking for too much. I think the important thing here is that Collins needs to understand is that he's messing with someone's life, someone's livelihood, someone's family, all because he thinks that his perspective is the right perspective. We could go back to Hina, and even if you believe that Hina is 100% honest, we know that the narrative is wrong. We've seen the evidence. We know that what happened between her and Pierogi was a mutual thing. And while both were making mistakes, Hina has no right to claim victim in that whole situation. Both were proactive participants in that engagement. Even if Hina regrets what she did, it is not okay for her to all of a sudden attack Pierogi and try to make him out like some kind of predator. Just like Collins has no right to try to come forward and act like Pierogi is scamming his fan base. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, this all comes down to perspective. One person's perspective is different than another person's perspective. You may think that someone's a jerk for smoking, while someone else may want to bum a cigarette. It's all a matter of perspective. Everybody's experiences are different. Just because you had a bad experience with Pierogi, not to mention 2 years ago, that doesn't give you the right to come and try to explode what the man has built today. Envy is a real thing. And even though I'm not sure Collins is envious towards Pierogi, even though part of me feels like he could be, considering his comments about thinking that Pierogi thought that Collins was a threat to Pierogi's entertainment empire, which I still don't get why he would think that to this day. Because if Collins was truly like a hardcore entertainer, then he should have his own YouTube, right? But it all comes back to that saying, live and let live. You were in Pierogi's Discord, you had a bad experience, you left, end of story. You don't need to try to rally the troops, and the lynch mob that's going to be in the comments below is going to be crazy, because the last time I posted a video like this, I had a ton of people telling me why I was wrong without supporting any evidence whatsoever. Asking for evidence is not a bad thing. It is asking for you to support your story. And if you can't do that, you have no story. If I was trying to get someone arrested and the cops was like, well, do you have any evidence of this? And I was like, no, but I just know. The cops are going to laugh at me. And that should be the same way with the court of public opinion. We're in a society right now that is just so easily triggered by anything anybody says. It's like the first version of a story that someone hears is the part they run with. No matter what evidence is presented afterwards, they've already made their mind up that that's how things went down, and that should not be how it is. That's a good way to be closed-minded and ignorant to a lot of truths out there in the world. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. If you guys are seeing this video for the first time and you missed the first part, I suggest checking right here.